Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today our topic is overview of the PSE reference model. In this chapter we focus on the services aspect and examine what we actually mean by service. We also considered the variety of services typically found in an environment and the interrelationships between services and other aspects of an environment, for example interfaces between services. This examination is an abstract description called a reference model. The PSE project support environment reference model is a conceptual description of the functionality that may be provided by a case environment. Overview of the PSE reference model. This description is general and it's bounded neither by a particular application domain nor by any specific life cycle paradigm for a development project. The reference model we use as our exemplar is the one developed by the US Navy Next Generation Computer Resource Program. As a part of the work of the NGCR, the Project Support Environment Standards Working Groups define an environment references model as its starting point for selecting interface standards. The working group examined many existing efforts, for example, the Software Technology and the Adaptable Reliable Systems Program, the National Institute of the Standards and the Technology Integrated Software Engineering Environment Work Group, synthesized many aspects from them and eventually created an entirely new document called a reference model for the project support environment. Next is what is the aim of an environment reference model? To describe from a purely conceptual viewpoint what functionality an environment can be expected to provide, a reference model is the exemplicity not intended to define the physical architecture of an environment. A reference model is, however, intended to help understand integration issues in an environment and to provide a basis for the identifying interface areas. Where possible, such interfaces may be standardized, thus improving the ability to understand, compare and contrast available technology, relate users' requirement to actual implementations, and assess the ease or otherwise with which different software tools and products can be integrated. Next is the centrality of the services in the reference model. Centrality. The central notion of the PSE reference model is that of a service. We observe both of the actual software components that provide this service, often called a tool, and the human work, often called a task, for which this service is necessary. A tool is a computer program used to help develop, test, analyze, or maintain another computer program or documentation. When an environment is considered from the viewpoint of how it supports human activities, then either the environment will provide a service to a human user or a human user will perform some task with the aid of environment. In brief, services are abstract capabilities of the environment. Tasks make use of and provide context for those capabilities, and tools are the actual executable software components that realize environment service. Next is the difference between conceptual model and actual environments. The conceptual viewpoint that governs the reference model provides an abstract description of the functionality that may be found in an environment. An actual viewpoint will describe a particular realization of the conceptual view in terms of an environment architecture with specific tools and standards. Relationship between conceptual and actual world. Figure illustrates the distinction between conceptual service description having no duplication of functionality and a set of actual software components, many of which may overlap in their functional capabilities. As the figure shows, tools may duplicate other tools' functionality, and a tool often provides both framework and end-user services. You can see the diagram. Next is the description of the reference model service. The reference model is a catalog of service descriptions spanning the functionality of a populated environment. The service descriptions are grouped in varying ways, either by degrees of abstraction or functionality. The highest level division classifies services either as end user or a framework service. The former includes services that directly support the execution of a project. The latter services relate to the users who facilitate, maintain or improve the operation of a computer system itself. For example, a human user performing such task as a tool installation, or the service be used directly by other services in the environment.